We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
You used to call me on my. You used to. Yeah. You used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. And I know when that hotline blink, that can only mean one thing. I know when that hotline blink, that can only mean one thing. Ever since I left the city, you.
That can only mean one thing. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Call me on that cell phone or your landline, and let's talk about it, whatever it is. I do feel like this heavy-handed Marie Antoinette-like discourse coming from the studio executives is not a good look for them. For me, as a union member, for me as an activist, it makes me want to push back harder, right? Oh, you're going to bleed us out? Really? And I think that is just not even good PR. It's just dumb, because all it does is make you're making. Bob Iger made $45.9 million with bonuses. I think his base salary was 20-something million, and then with his bonuses based on, I assume, healthy profits at Disney. And then you want to go, well, we don't have any money. Oh, but you got $20 million in bonuses. It makes you look out of touch. It's very let them eat cake. And same with Barry Diller. You're worth $1 billion, and you're saying, actors should take a 25% pay cut. To be fair, he was talking about the wealthiest actors, but most actors are not wealthy. I love that people are posting their residual checks for $1.25 and $10. I have a few of those myself. Maybe I'll post them, because the reality is, even if you're in another industry, you might be able to move, right? I'm going to move and work remotely for Facebook while living in Montana and enjoying the cost of living there. Or I'm going to move to Moreno Valley while working as a trucker. If you're an actor or a writer, for the most part, you need to be in New York or LA, right? And those places are expensive to live. Now, some people, there's a big scene in Atlanta, and some people are able to fly around, especially those who already have a name. But when you're a working class actor, a rank and file writer, you're constantly pitching, you're going on auditions, you're driving all around on your own gas that you pay for. You're getting all of the things you need, your classes and your, resumes and all that stuff done, your photos done, all on your own dime, and driving around, investing to try to work in the chosen field, right, that you have as an actor, as a writer. And the other thing to remember is that, the recent reports are showing production is plummeting. Surprise, surprise. The actors and the writers are on strike. Well, who else does that affect? The lighting people, the people that make the food, the caterers, craft services, the makeup artists, the hair people, the costume designers and makers. All of these folks, from personal trainers to acting teachers to people that deliver food to sets, all of these jobs are affected. So it's a ripple impact on specifically LA, but also New York, Atlanta. And that means that when you say you're going to bleed out writers or actors, you're really saying, I'll starve all of y'all that are not big mucky mucks making multi-millions of dollars. You can just lose your houses and die. We don't care. Well, I guess not die, because they say, the quote says, we'll wait for them to come crawling back. Wow. Now, NBC Universal is denying that they've cut down the shade trees that just so happen to be exactly where the actors and writers have been showing up to strike for the past couple months since the writer strike began in May. But a preliminary investigation seems to show that's actually not true, which is crazy because it means they decided to retaliate. And there's already been a controversy because the other side of the street where actors and writers could picket has been blocked off by construction, air quotes, construction. And we do have a young progressive city controller. Kenneth Mejia said they will investigate the cutting down of these trees at Universal Studios, where right exactly in the spot where workers were picketing, where there's 90-degree plus heat and everybody was using those trees to get through the day. We're talking about AI and artificial intelligence, and we're talking about residuals. Residual is the check you get after your initial check, and they are usually pretty small, but they can add up. And if you did have the blessing of being a series regular or a show creator as a writer, and your checks are slightly bigger, we're still talking about a situation where it's maybe enough to live on for a period of time. But considering the long amount of time that writers and actors often go between series or between jobs, if you average that out over the course of the career, it's actually a very small amount, like a very small unemployment. Now NBC Universal is scrambling and saying, "Oh well, we're providing tents and water for the strikers." Oh, now you are. Now that it's become a controversy. Kenneth Mejia, the controller, tweeted that no tree trimming permits had been issued for that area for the past 3 years, which means that if they were actually doing it, they were doing it without a permit, which is seems unusual for a large company like that to expose themselves to fining and administrative penalties because of the desire to trim trees. Councilmember Rahman says the Urban Forestry Division and Streets LA are investigating whether or not they can actually issue a citation to NBC Universal for doing that. I mean, everybody knows that we're in a situation where, well, I hope everybody knows, where the heat is so extreme in Southern California right now, and in much of the United States actually, that people are getting sick and dying from heat exhaustion. You've got writers and actors out there on the streets picketing you all day, and you think it's a good idea to cut out their shade trees for routine maintenance. Yeah. Once again, I have to call BS on that, because even if you did have a routine maintenance, you'd look out the window and you'd say, there's a bunch of people out there standing out there all day. Maybe I shouldn't expose them to possible sickness and death by cutting down those shade trees. It's just one out-of-touch draconian move after another. I think it's time for the producers to be a little bit more realistic. The Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers is who I'm talking about, the group that's negotiating with the actors. I think it's time for them to be more realistic about what value the actors and writers bring to the table, the creative juice, the lifeblood of what you're selling, the thing that gives you those millions of dollars, and to respect our humanity and our uniqueness by not using AI to duplicate us without paying us. You're talking about sampling human beings right now, If you sample a song, you have to pay a licensing fee or whatever that is. Whatever the official term is. You have to pay sample fees, right, Miles? You can't just sample human beings, sample my voice, sample my face, and now you're going to try to duplicate me and not pay me, for my spiritual essence, for my humanitarian contributions, for my actual humanity, my personhood. You just make a copy of it and then kick me to the curb and let me bleed out till I lose my house? That's your plan? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. And I heard some smug professor on a news channel talking about how the actors and writers have picked the worst time to go on strike because they have no leverage. Well, I don't agree with that because the workers are walking out. The union movement is on the move all over the country. So why would that mean we have no leverage? And when the contract ends, which the actors' contract ended end of June, you don't say, oh, well, I'm going to wait till I have leverage in another 10 or 20 years when they've already changed the entire business paradigm to where I don't get any residuals for streaming and I have no rights over artificial intelligence duplicating me, the essence of who I am. I'll wait another. If you wait, the precedents are already set. And there's no chance for you to get justice because the rules are made and that's just how we do it. Well, I can't say no chance, but it's a harder lift. Now is the time. So, I think we got to stand with all of these striking workers and push back on this stupid narrative that this is the wrong time. It's too disruptive. It's unrealistic. Bosses have been saying that about union organizing since it started. If we would have listened to that crap, we would have no weekends, no 8-hour days. Yeah, the time is now. I stand with the writers, stand with the actors, stand with the UPS workers, stand with the hotel workers. Fair wages. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
You're listening to K-Drip, where we play all the best classic water-wasting hits like watering your lawn during the hottest time of the day and leaky faucets. They're tunes from another time because now that we face a hotter, drier future, every drop counts. Despite an extremely wet winter, keep using less water, fixing leaks, and reusing indoor water for your garden. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more ways to conserve. Up next, brushing your teeth with the water on. K-Drip.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
To my hometown, my community. Some of you have known me my whole life. Do you notice anything different about the kids in the neighborhood? Ever paid attention? We might start with gifts, money, attention. These are signs. Child trafficking is happening right here in this town. So don't just watch through the window. Pay attention. Because the more we know, the more we'll all know to say no. Learn the signs to look for and how to help at no-to-say-no.com.
In our community, mental health struggles can sometimes go unnoticed. The suicide rate among Black youth has risen faster than any other ethnic group. Only 1 in 3 African Americans who need mental health care receives it. African American women are only half as likely as their Caucasian counterparts to seek professional mental health services. Even those who guide us spiritually can sometimes face their own challenges. 45% of pastors say they've experienced depression or burnout to the extent they need to take a leave of absence from ministry. As people of faith, it's time to acknowledge it's okay not to be okay. You can pray and get help. Visit normalizehelp.org for more information and resources. Join us in raising mental health awareness in our community. Funded by the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health and the Champion Counseling Center of Faithful Central Bible Church.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
Yeah, a lot of people upset about this story, at least online, about Carlee Russell, the young African-American woman who said she saw a toddler on the freeway and had pulled over to help that toddler and was kidnapped and abducted and held for a day or something. You remember I was talking with Dr. Gerald Horn about this on Monday, that something was odd about the story. And Dr. Horn rightly pushed back by saying Black women go missing more than any other women, that nobody looks for us when we're missing. We're still, talking about Natalie Holloway, whatever, 10, 15 years later, but Black women go missing at a higher rate than anyone else, and no one seems to care. And I think that's one reason why a lot of people are feeling a way about this Carlee Russell story. Dr. Horn pointed out that, the numbers are crazy, right, for Black women when we are abducted or whatever's going on, human trafficking, murdered, whatever it might be. And I think that's why a lot of us are feeling away, because it's like now those people who doubt us, who don't care about us, who would disparage us for saying y'all are just liars. Now, we don't know for sure everything, but it doesn't look good. And what I mean by doesn't look good is that apparently Miss Russell, the police, investigated, and they found she had been Google searching, how to take money from a register without anyone knowing. And the movie Taken, which is about someone being kidnapped. And they say they're still investigating, right? She was missing for 49 hours. Apparently, there's been no other reports of a toddler by anyone on that stretch of freeway. No video showing that. Apparently she went to Target before she called 911. And just what police are saying, she said, and of course I'm always wary about the official story from law enforcement, but in this case you have a woman who called law enforcement, then shows up back at her parents' house after, according to law enforcement, she said she was running through the woods and just came out near her own home. So it does look like this may have been a hoax, right? And I think it's really bad news. I saw what Sean King wrote on social media yesterday, and I think it was actually helpful that even if this turns out to be a total hoax, it does not mean that we shouldn't believe Black women. It does not mean that we shouldn't investigate Black women who are missing or give them the same kind of media coverage that we give to every other woman or person that's in this kind of a predicament. In fact, if this turns out to be a complete hoax, then we will have found out more quickly. Now I'm on a part Sean didn't say, but we will have found out more quickly because a bright light was shown on the issue. The police chief said on yesterday that he doesn't believe a crime was committed. He doesn't believe that Miss Russell was ever kidnapped. And that, the things that she was Google searching on her phone include one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville. And it's also worth noting that part of the reason this investigation has been so resourced and so speedy is because of public interest. The police chief said that. Which actually shows you the importance of shining a light on these kinds of cases. So we can get to the bottom of it. You know, the fact, according to police, she said she was kidnapped and fed cheese crackers, had nude pictures taken of her. It just, I mean, to be honest with you, the whole thing just sounded a little odd to me from the beginning. And I hate to say it, I hate to agree with Candace Owens. Rarely does that happen. But I think because of doing talk radio and news for so many years, sometimes when I hear a story, it just doesn't sit right with me. There's something strange. Something is off. And I always have to sit back and see what the investigation finds. And I guess we'll find more. Apparently she took a bathrobe and toilet paper from her spa job before she left for the evening, went to Target and got Cheez-Its and granola bars, but those things weren't found at the scene. Her cell phone was there, but not her Cheez-Its. It's terrible. I hate these kind of stories. I really do, especially when they impact black people. But I think we've got to push back on the talking point or the implication that this means that we shouldn't believe black women. And also the other point Sean made, which I think was a good and important point, is that this woman is, you know, we don't need to get on social media. I don't need to get on the radio and talk about what an idiot Carlee Russell was. She's already pretty much ruined her own life. I mean, at least for the foreseeable future. Or as someone on Twitter said, she snatched her own wig. I mean, it's like, because that was one of the things that was found at the scene with her phone, the wig, but not the Cheez-Its. I also think, you know, you got to realize she will pay the price. You want to talk about cancel culture. I don't know if it's, in this case, canceled, but the internet culture of everyone knows how you look. Everyone's involved with the story. Most folks have an opinion, and that's going to follow you now for a really long time. So I don't need to say anything. You don't need to say anything. That young woman does need some kind of counseling. She does need some kind of help. If that's what she thought was a good idea, to fake her own kidnapping, there's more going on than meets the eye. I'll say that. Let's go to Fred calling from the Crenshaw district. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning, Sister Dominic. Glad to hear your voice. Unfortunately, I didn't get down to the Black Lives Matter on Saturday. I was talking to Travis a while ago. He said he estimated it was about 2,000 people. It's a shame that I couldn't get nobody from the media come out 2, 7, 9. They didn't answer the phone. That's crazy. It was after 8 o'clock. Channel 4 was going to come out, but the lady was looking for a cameraman who never showed up, so that was it.
Now, to come out where, Fred? Where were you calling the media?
Oh, no, to Black Lives Matter. You
Oh,
know,
I got you. Oh, that was dope. I love that you did that. Yeah, the fire department said it was 2,500 people, which is a decent crowd in a blazing hot day. It didn't look super packed because it's a huge space and there were tons of indoor workshops going on. A lot of people wanted to get out of the heat. And then there was the kids area where, you know, that was packed all day. There were 2 stages and vendors. So people were spread out. But yeah, the fire department said it was about 2,500 people, which I think is a pretty good turnout, despite that the LA Times said it was sparse. But I think she might have been there really early, like at noon, and left before the crowd showed up or something.
Yeah, did Danny Bakewell show up from the Sentinel?
I did not see Danny Bakewell. I wasn't everywhere, though. I was mostly around the stage area. the main stage because I was working part of the time. But I didn't see him. I did see. I did.
His staff.
I think Neil Anderson was there. Yeah. So I expect they will cover it. But I didn't see Mr. Bakewell himself.
Oh, okay. How did you like Cornel West's speech? You think he may be able to swing people who are going to vote for Biden to go for him on the November ballot? You think that's possible?
I think he can, especially if they're black people or progressives like the people from like the Occupy Wall Street movement, those type of mindsets, progressives who wanted to vote for Bernie but didn't want to vote for Biden. Maybe some of those folks who wouldn't have voted because they wouldn't come out for Biden but would come out for West. I think we could see that.
So you say you might see Cornel versus Trump. You know, Trump's crazy now.
Oh, no. He ain't going to beat Biden. He ain't going to beat Biden. I'm just saying he may take some voters away from Joe Biden. No, West versus Trump would be amazing. I would love that, but it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, but, you know, it looks like through history, the Green Party hasn't really gone too far. I remember some years ago when Ross Perot ran, and I think Ross Perot just took votes from Democrats and Republicans. They decided to go for him, but I think he ended up with 20% or something like that. But anyway, keep doing what you're doing. Have a great day, and I'm going to try to get on there next week.
All right. Good to talk with you, Fred.
Likewise, Dominic.
Yeah. I mean, you could see Cornel West peeling votes away from Biden, which is not a great thing. And I do think West versus Trump wins, sadly. But I just think there's zero chance of that. I'm also concerned about, you think about the Ralph Nader scenario. Because a lot of people say there would be no President Bush if it wasn't for Ralph Nader peeling those votes away from Al Gore. I think that kind of a scenario is more likely, with West peeling away just enough votes from Biden to make him lose in certain states. We'll see. Love to hear from you. 800-920-1580. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In Hoover, Alabama, cops reveal new details about the African-American woman who went missing after seeing a toddler walking alone on an Alabama highway, then reappeared unharmed 2 days later.
We'll figure it out. I promise you that. We'll end up figuring it out.
Cops say Russell told them a man jumped out of a tree and abducted her when she went to check on the child. Air quality is slowly improving for millions as smoke from Canadian wildfires start to thin. Despite the improvements, air quality alerts are still in place in over a dozen states in the Northeast, from New Hampshire to Wyoming. This week, 4 states reported new wildfires, bringing the nationwide total to roughly 24 as a heat wave slams the southern U.S. dry areas of Arizona, New Mexico, and California. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to now.
Is this the tackle? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
More health issues for first-year Colorado football coach Deion Sanders. Deion will have surgery this morning to remove blood clots in his right leg. He will miss the Pac-12 Conference Media Day Friday in Las Vegas. Deion had surgery on June 22nd to remove blood clots in his left leg. Deion posted on Instagram yesterday that he will be ready to coach his new team when preseason camp starts next month. The New York Jets are the first NFL team to open training camp. They hit the field yesterday in Florham Park, New Jersey. The Chargers and Rams open up camp on Tuesday. Dodgers pitcher Julio Urias did not have a good day in Baltimore yesterday. Urias gave up a career-high 8 runs in 5 innings. Before the game, LSU women's basketball star Angel Reese, a Baltimore native, threw out the first pitch. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
2 years down, many more years to go. We're just getting started at KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm James Alexander, a proud member of AARP. 1967, I was 17. That spring, my friends, the Barcades, and I made Soulfinger. It was a hit. Number 3 on the charts. That summer, we became the great Otis Redding's band. First gig, the famed Apollo. That fall, we toured. That winter found me in a morgue identifying the bodies of my bandmates and Otis Redding. My music and their memories bring me joy. The Barcades, forever.
What would you call a joy that is as solemn as it is sweet and knows no bounds? A joy that's beautifully rooted in soul and resilience. This is Black joy, a joy that reflects pride and honor despite every challenge. AARP believes the power of Black joy is limitless, and we celebrate this joy supreme. Join us in celebrating Black joy at aarp.org/blackcommunity.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
Wendy's is open till midnight or later, so you can give in to the craving and go night mode. Now all of your favorite menu items just got their bedtime extended. You can get what you want even later, like the Baconator with 6 strips of bacon, or the perfect fries and frosty duo. If you're up later, then so are we. So go ahead and pull through the drive-thru. When the craving hits, go night mode at Wendy's. Open till midnight or later. All right, see ya later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
I appreciate you, Fahima. She says, why would Carlee Russell leave her phone in car? Something doesn't add up with the hoax narrative. Maybe she has mental health issues. I would be inclined to believe that. And I think both could be true. I think you could have mental health issues and it could be a hoax. Like you have mental health issues and that's why you want people to think you were kidnapped, or maybe, I don't know. You're right, Fahima. I never just believe the official story, but me, myself, Dominique DePrima, with no added info, reading this story, I heard missing pieces. It just didn't sound complete. Let me put it that way. And then when the police said they were going to give her a few days before they question her, I was like, really? And the parents said that, she apparently, again, I'm reading articles, I'm not there, but apparently they told the police that she was unconscious and then that she had been conscious, but then later it seemed that she was conscious when she arrived. according to video. The boyfriend said she was kidnapped. How would he know that? I mean, just, how would he know that when she was just missing? If my boy or girlfriend was missing and I hadn't heard from them, would I immediately say that they were kidnapped? There were too many weird things. So I don't know what the truth is, but I do agree with Sean. We still need to believe black women. That's what we still need to do. And we need to push back on any narrative that implies otherwise. Let's go to Ron calling us from LA. Hi, Ron.
Good morning, Miss Dominique. Before I go any further into subject matter, first of all, I want to apologize to you from the last time I talked with you and Attorney Carl Douglas. It didn't end well. I want to apologize. I hope you accept my apology, and I promise that won't happen again.
Apology accepted.
Thank you very much. And now I'd like to talk about some of the subjects at hand. What is going on with this Marine who choked out that black man on the train?
Well, he's being charged. I don't know where we are with the case. I must admit I didn't track it while I was in Africa. But he's facing charges.
Miss Dominique, something I want to share with you.
He pleaded not guilty. That's the latest. Sorry. While I was in Africa, he pleaded not guilty. And the grand jury indictment was unsealed. They didn't add any additional charges. But he's charged with second-degree manslaughter for recklessly causing the death of Jordan Neely. And the grand jury indictment was presented. He's facing 5 to 15 years in prison if convicted of one count of second-degree manslaughter. Could do another 15 months to 4 years on criminally negligent homicide, which is another count. So there's your update.
Miss Dominique, what I want to share with you is that I used to be an assistant judo instructor in the Air Force, and we used to take turns choking each other out. I never killed anybody, and nobody killed me. And the thing about it, if you choke somebody beyond 1 minute, you really considered a psychopath.
Really?
Because no one wants to kill anybody choking them to death. Think about it. Didn't this Marine choke this man for about 5 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact time, but it was long. It was very long.
Well, what I want to share with you, that I was so good with doing judo chokeholds that I could choke somebody out within 5 seconds. But I wouldn't kill them. I have them unconscious. And the thing about it, most judo men are very careful about that. But this man, he should be charged with first-degree manslaughter, not second-degree, because that was just outright murder, as far as I'm concerned, me being a judo man.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good point, because you have experience with the art of choking people, if we can call it an art, and not killing them. The irony in that case with Daniel Penny is that he's raised $2.9 million on a Give, Send, Go crowdfunding campaign for his legal defense, and the family of Jordan Neely has gotten almost nothing to bury the victim here. That to me is incredible.
And something else I'd like to talk to you about. What are we going to do about this brother who went into North Korea?
What do you mean?
What are we going to do about him? He stepped over in DMZ laughing.
I mean, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, Ron, in terms of the story. But what are we meant to do about it? It sounds like the guy might have been suffering from mental health issues and decided to cross over into North Korea. They now have him in custody or something. So what do you mean? What are we going to do about it? I mean, what are you suggesting? The guy of his own free will, I'll grant you, he may have been suffering a mental health breakdown, decided to improperly cross into North Korea. It seems like you're kind of on your own if you do that. Am I wrong?
You're absolutely correct.
I'm not going to start no war to go get you back. Sorry, dude. I mean, and maybe I'm being insensitive, because if he was suffering from a mental health break, then perhaps I should be more sympathetic, empathetic. But I'm just like, I think I'll walk into North Korea. That's what you decided? I don't know what I'm meant to do about that.
I agree with you. I'm not that sympathetic either about what happened, because me being a military man, that's the last place you want to go. But the only suggestion I could make is maybe somebody could find Dennis Rodman. Maybe Dennis Rodman can bring him back.
That's a good idea.
Because Little Kim and Dennis Rodman have good relationships.
Travis King, that's his name. Travis King. He walked into North Korea. I don't know. You know what? I shouldn't be so harsh. I mean, apparently they said he was laughing when he walked in. So maybe he was going through something, and I should be more sensitive about that. To your other question about Daniel Penny, he choked Jordan Neely for 15 minutes, which is a really long time.
That's just outright murder.
Yeah.
If you look at MMA right now, mixed martial arts, they do jiu-jitsu, chokeholds, and mixed martial arts. Nobody is choked beyond a minute.
That's a great point. That would be just crazy, right, to watch that on TV in real time, someone choking someone out for 15 minutes. Imagine the comments, the calls, the listeners, the network censors. Yeah, that's insane. It's a really, really smart way of pointing it out, Ron. I appreciate the call and your insights. It's not too late to call me, 800-920-1580. Let's talk about it, whatever your it is. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Hosting a barbecue is a breeze, but managing my frequent heartburn, that was a lot more work. I would chew up to 10 antacids in one day. Now I take just one Prilosec OTC, and my heartburn is blocked for a full 24 hours. Just one Prilosec OTC a day gives me one-and-done heartburn relief, so I can go back for seconds on my world-famous burgers.
Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate
The family of Keenan Anderson is suing the city of Los Angeles for $100 million. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. Keenan Anderson, a high school English teacher that was visiting Los Angeles from Washington, D.C., was tragically killed at the hands of the Los Angeles Police Department in January of this year. His family, alongside civil rights and personal injury attorney Benjamin Crump and Carl Douglas, have announced a $100 million lawsuit against the city of Los Angeles. Crump and Douglas are representing Keenan Anderson's son, Sincere Anderson, and his mother, Gabrielle Hansel. The family is suing for civil rights violations, assault and battery, false imprisonment, and negligence on the part of the LAPD officers. The family of Keenan Anderson and attorneys Crump and Douglas want it to be known that this is only part of a systemic issue within the fabric of police departments everywhere.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
You're ready to level up to your next home or your first home. But maybe you still have some questions. Come check out Rocket. We're ready to help. Start with a Rocket Mortgage home buying plan and get Rocket rewards along the way for cash toward closing. You got this, and Rocket's got you. Only with Rocket. Visit rocketbuyingplan.com to get started today.
Call 866-357-5727 for conditions and restrictions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLS Consumer Access.org, number 3030.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station. And your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now, as usual, there's more to the story. So apparently this guy, Travis, black man, by the way, who ran from South Korea into North Korea, which we do not have diplomatic relations with North Korea. So it will be very hard to get you back once you're over there. But apparently his baby cousin had died of a rare genetic disease recently, and he had been suffering from mental health breakdown as a result of losing the baby cousin, which apparently affected him deeply. Okay, so once again, I should have been more sensitive. That's terrible that he went through that. But again, he had just come out of 2 months of some kind of military detention, apparently had damaged a police car in one of the episodes that he had. So as a result, he may have wanted to get the hell out of Dodge, just in terms of not going back to face whatever he would have faced. He was meant to be shipped home to Texas, to Fort Bliss, Texas, and he was being held in South Korea. He went and joined a tour, ran across the border, they said full gas, which means he took off running fast, apparently was laughing prior, and is now in the custody of the North Korean government. He was only 23 too, which also gives me more empathy for the guy because he was young. Who knows what he knows about North Korea? They said he was a quiet guy. His uncle says he was a quiet guy who doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, likes to read the Bible. So it sounds like he was having an episode. I don't know what North Korea, how much sympathy they have for you having a mental health episode. The military saying that we can't allow North Korea to hold one of our soldiers, so this could be, it could really escalate to a huge, huge thing. Apparently and it's interesting because some in the press are calling it a defection, as if he intentionally defected to North Korea. If he's having a mental health episode, I don't know if you would call it that. Oh my goodness. These stories, I guess when people do something that's seemingly really, really idiotic, it's hard for me to process it. It's the same thing with this Carlee Russell thing. It's like, yeah, right, Fahima, she probably was having a mental health episode. So I shouldn't be judging it by what we would call common sense of a person in their right mind. Same with this Travis King situation. Seems the last time a U.S. soldier ran into North Korea was 1962. Let's go to Kwamel calling us from Gardena. Hi, Kwamel. It was great to see you out at BLM Turns 10.
I'm just happy that you recognized me. Yeah, it was interesting waiting all that good time around that festival. It would have been nice if it did limit Juneteenth numbers. But it was quite nice out there. I was glad that Chuck D was there to add some revolutionary flavor to things. I know some people may disagree with his politics, but at the same time, the man wrote those records that changed a lot of our minds and got us in a revolutionary progressive direction. So it's important to keep these kind of folks around and fighting the good fight, which Cornell himself, when he came on, also brought to the table for us. I'm not so sure he would have my vote so quick right now, because I do want to see what he has in store regarding foreign policy, regarding different programs, as well as there's certain things that you get up in the office of the presidency. They're not going to just say, okay, you can do whatever you want. Even Trump couldn't do that.
That's true, right?
There's levers that keep you under a little bit of control. Besides your cabinet and things like that, there's levers that keep you under a little bit of control. So, not saying the corner was to be controlled, but just got to be realistic about the understanding of how the entire machine of Washington, runs. And I think that needs to be kept in mind with Cornel West. So I think he would definitely need to be realistic about that. While
there's
he
that
still
word
can be
again.
himself, while he still can be himself.
Kwamel, I got a couple questions for you about Dr. West's run, and also BLM turns 10. If you would stay with me, it's KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, Kwamel from Gardena on the phone. And you were talking about Chuck D, the Black Lives Matter turns 10, a People's Justice Festival, but also whether or not Cornel West has your vote. You know, politically, I'm much more aligned with Dr. West than I am with Joe Biden, but I'm one of those people, and you guys can call me, you know, Negroes on the Democratic Party plantation if you want to, because I don't think, I believe I'm free, black, and educated, but I don't want I think another 4 years of Trump would be a giant disaster for this country. And so I'm going to go ahead and vote for Biden if he runs again. Not because I don't think Cornel West would be a good president, but what do you think about that dynamic?
Now, I'm perfectly fine with him putting the ideas out there, and I think as long as he's got his face in the media, which I think he'd be the most likely person to get things out versus some of these other people the Greens put out there that no one has ever heard of. At least we've heard of Cornel West. So I think that'll be of a huge benefit to get ideas on the table.
That's a great point. Yeah.
And I would be more than happy to vote for him in the primary because.
In the primary, sure, I'll vote for him in the primary too. It's a good point, Kwamel.
Yeah, because we know it's a safe blue state, so that's not going to be an issue at all. So I would encourage that of anybody. I don't see him being in the general, mainly because this media machine is really too much in with the big two. So I don't see that happening.
Well, he's Green Party, so he would.
I don't know if I answered your question or not.
Yeah, no, you did. I mean, he's Green Party, so he will still be in the general. It's just, they probably won't get on the debate stage unless he's able to really garner some numbers. What about if you had to choose between Cornel West and Marianne Williamson?
Cornel West all the way. Nothing against Marianne Williamson, but. Again, I mean, unless her face got heavily out there and her ideas really took hold in people's minds,
yeah,
I don't see it with Marianne Williamson. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think mindfulness in the White House is not a bad idea. But I think I know what you're saying in terms of like the numbers. It's a numbers game, but it's a numbers game for Cornel West too. What about Robert Kennedy Jr.?
Oh God! I mean, I figure once people kind of hear the voice and all the anti-vax stuff, we're still fairly superficial. So, and I know folks would probably want to throw their vote behind the good white man before they would anybody black. But
oh wow!
There's no way I see anybody backing some of those some of his goofier claims, and. Yeah. I think I should leave that there before I get myself in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of black folks that are backing him up because of some of those claims. Actually, him saying. Now
I do want to point this out, however. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
I do want to point this out, however. Here's what I think, and I'll leave you with this. Where I think Cornel West has the best shot is he's the most likely to put together a complete game, as Edge would say in sports. Of ideas, like a nice strong body of work that would make people say, you know what, okay, yeah, Biden, what's up with that? Yeah, Trump, what's up with this? Or I don't know, it's a little hard to convince the right because sometimes I think they kind of got their thing, they're convinced that's all they need. But if you get the issues on the table, as Bernie was doing, you could do much great damage and good damage, that good trouble.
Yeah.
And bring people behind you. On that, I'll thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, Carmel. Good to see you and good to hear you. And I think that is the value that right now, barring a miracle, which we don't want to bar, that is the value of a Dr. Cornel West candidacy and of a Marianne Williamson candidacy, by the way, because I believe that Bernie Sanders, although he obviously was polling much higher than even Kennedy or any of these folks, changed the Democratic platform because he did come with a comprehensive game plan, as you put it, or an actual platform, an actual plan and agenda. And in order to win over some of the progressive voters and get to the White House, the Biden campaign actually adopted some of Bernie Sanders' ideas and platforms. Concepts. And that happened with Hillary Clinton as well. Unfortunately, didn't save her. But news, traffic, and sports. And then we're going to talk strike and we're going to talk entertainment. We got a lot to talk about on our deep dive on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In Hoover, Alabama, cops reveal new details about the African-American woman who went missing after seeing a toddler walking alone on an Alabama highway, then reappeared unharmed 2 days later.
We'll figure it out, I promise you that. We'll end up
this week. 4 states reported new wildfires, bringing the nationwide total to roughly 24 as